Hello, and thank you for joining another segment of Swatch Sundays. Today we're working on the Alpine stitch. This is actually going to be alternating between the double crochet and a front post double crochet. So this stitch is worked in a multiple of 2 plus 1. So for our foundation chain, we're going to chain 25 and we'll start building up from there. So go ahead and do your slip knot and get 25 chains in, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so now that we have our 25 chains, we're going to get started on the first row. The first row consists of a row of single crochet. So we're going to start in the second chain from the hook and work single crochet for the remainder of the row. Go ahead and work your row of single crochet. Remember, if you need a refresher on how single crochet work, visit one of my first videos and you can kind of see what the single crochet looks like. Go ahead and finish your single crochets and meet me at the end of the row. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish off this row by putting in the last single crochet stitch and tightening my slip knot from the beginning. This is how our first row looks. It's just a single row of single crochet on your chain. Now to move to the next row, you want to chain 2 and turn your work. So the chain 2 that you've done to get to the second row counts as your first double crochet. So you want to start your double crochet in the second stitch from the hook, and you want to do a full row of double crochet. All right, and just as a quick reminder from last week, you want to wrap behind the hook, insert, pull the yarn through. Now you'll have 3 loops on your hook, wrap, pull through 2, wrap, pull through 2. And you want to continue this down until you get to the end. Once you get to the end, I'll come back and show you how to start the third row. Now that we're at the end of our double crochet row or our second row, we're going to go ahead and put in 2 more double crochet at the end. Be sure to remember that when you get to the end and you're in that chain 2 that we did to get to the second row, you still need to insert a double crochet under 2 loops on that end. All right. Once you get your very last double crochet completed, you're going to actually chain 1 to turn this time. So when you chain 1, you're going to repeat the row of single crochet across the double crochet. When you start your single crochet, you aren't going to skip a stitch. You're going to actually start right in the same stitch that's connected to your hook, like so. All right, go ahead and single crochet all the way across, and I'll meet you back at the end to start our fourth row. All right, so we're at the end of our second single crochet row. I'm putting in the last 2. Another reminder, just as soon as you get to that end, you want to make sure you always put a stitch in the chain. So last time we actually made a chain 2 on this end. So we want to make sure we grab those loops and put a single crochet at the end. And now you have a pretty straight edge on each end. All right, the next row, you're going to chain 2. And this is when it gets a little interesting. We've done the double crochet, but we haven't done the front post double crochet. So what you're going to do is you're going to skip the end here and you're going to start your front post double crochet between that first double crochet stitch. So you're going to insert from the front and go behind the crochet stitch, pull the yarn through, and do a double crochet as normal. So you want to wrap behind the hook, pull through the first 2 loops, wrap behind the hook, and pull through the last 2 loops. And that's how you do a front post double crochet. So you see when you do front post, it kind of pushes the stitch frontwards and it leaves a stitch in the back. So don't worry about the stitch in the back. All you're worrying about is the front post double crochet that's pushed out. In the next stitch, you're going to do a normal crochet where you're going to use the 2 loops from the previous round to make you a double crochet. All right, so we're alternating front post double crochets and double crochets in this pattern. So you'll do another front post double crochet around the 3rd double crochet stitch. And then right next to it, in the top of the very next double crochet, you're going to do a regular double crochet stitch. And that gives you kind of a cage appearance. So you'll see one stitch is towards the back of the work and the next stitch is towards the front of the work. And you're going to keep alternating in this fashion to kind of give you that textured look that the Alpine stitch has. All right, go ahead and continue alternating the double crochet in the front post double crochet. I'll meet you at the end to show you how we get to the next row. Now that we're at the end of the next row, we're going to continue alternating between the double crochet and the front post double crochet. You'll notice that we have a front post double crochet and then 2 double crochets at the end of this row. So you want to put the double crochet into the last double crochet from the previous rows. And then you also want to put a double crochet into the very end, which is the chain. All right, and so that's what you're looking at right now before you put in that last double crochet. All right, of course, as always, you want to pull up 2 loops at the end to get that last double crochet in there. All right, so once you get your last double crochet into the very end, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to single crochet all the way to the other end again. So again, you're going to start your single crochet in the very first stitch attached to your hook, and then you're going to keep going all the way down in another row of single crochet for the 5th row. Go ahead and finish your single crochet, and I'll meet you back at the end to start the next row. All right, so now that we're at the end of this next row, we have 2 single crochet left. So make sure that you always put a single crochet in the chain from the previous round to make sure that your edges remain as straight as possible. To get to the next row, we're going to chain 2. All right, once you chain 2 and you turn your work, you're going to continue that alternating pattern. So as you can see, the front post double crochet comes first when you turn your work. So what you want to do is a normal double crochet on top of that front post double crochet. So you'll still skip the first stitch and put your double crochet right into the top of the front post double crochet from the previous round. The next stitch, because you're still alternating, is going to be a front post double crochet in the normal double crochet from the previous round. All right, and you'll continue that pattern. So you're going to do another normal double crochet and then follow that up with a front post double crochet. Each time you finish a row of single crochet on the back and you turn your work, you'll be able to use the first double crochet or front post double crochet from the previous round to kind of gauge what you need to do next. But it's always going to be that 2-round repeat. You're going to do alternating double crochet and front post double crochet on the front. You're always going to do a single crochet on the back. At the end of each single crochet row, you're going to chain 2. At the end of each alternating double crochet and front post double crochet row, you're going to chain 1. So you want to chain 1 to start a single crochet row, and you want to chain 2 to start every double crochet row. Here's a view of what your Alpine stitch is going to look like when it's worked up in several rows. I am using Mandala Echo Caves yarn. So this is an ombre or a self-striping yarn. I actually think that the Alpine stitch is really nice in any kind of self-striping color. So if you guys have any questions about the Alpine stitch, let me know in the comment section. And thanks for watching.